Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakah Kodash. Double honors unto the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and shalom to the hopeful elect. This is Paya Allah, and this is James 1 and 1. James, a servant of the Most High, and of the Lord Yahushai Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. Right, so James, this is the brother of the Lord, all right, who, being an apostle, one of the 12, was sent forth, and he gives a lot of he specifies his role within the body as that of being a minister unto the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, showing you that the children of Israel, going back 2,000 years ago, all right, and you can even go further beyond that as well, were scattered among the heathen, all right, being one of the curses that the Heavenly Father put in our covenant, in the covenant he made between us and him. If we basically fell off in any form or manner, he would basically disperse us among the heathen, all right? And that's why it speaks of in the book of Habakkuk 1 and 5, the Most High doing a work that you wouldn't believe it, even though it's told to you that you would have Israelites that, look like the heathen, all right? Which, when you really think about it, is a bewildering thing. They have the spirit of a Jacob, all right, within them, but they look like a straight up heathen, all right? And, man, I just see a video of Edomite dancing, and it's a hard thing to watch, man. But then that would have been the general consensus. That would have been the norm, all right? So you imagine back then, that's all you know. You've never seen it no other way. Then bang, we're in the year 2024, and now you see Esau basically getting, shaking a leg like an Israelite. And when you really deep it is something wild. But that's, the scattering, all right, which is a curse, all right? But it's a beautiful thing in the fact that the Heavenly Father is now gathering us back onto him and not only going to do away with this curse, all right? Verse 2, my brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations, all right? So it's a joyful thing, all right? It isn't a bad thing when you fall into diverse temptations, all right? You got to look at it like a father and a son, all right? The fact that you are going through these trials and tribulations is basically for the sole purpose of you showing, the Heavenly Father having love upon you, all right? And that he's exercising your faith. Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience, but let patience have a perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. All right. So when you fall into these diverse temptations, basically what's happening is, a hard time, a rough patch, all right, a time of lowliness, all right, but you have to let it run its course, all right, and hold fast during the course of it. Because on the other side of it all, there's going to be, a lot of, beautiful things are going to come to fruition. And that's going to be to your benefit ultimately going forth. All right, going forward. Verse 5, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of the Most High that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. Right, so pray, man. Ask of the Heavenly Father of this wit, this skill, right, this discernment of the word and ability to govern yourself and have decorum, because he ain't gonna hold back, all right? And usually this is why it's said after the things that are being spoke of, is because the opportunity to grasp his wisdom is going to be given to you through a form of hardship, or there's a word I'm looking for. Basically, for a hard time, there's going to be some form of lesson there's a word I'm looking for, it escaped me right now. But basically, you going through a rough patch, some hard times, And the end of it all is gonna be that wisdom that the Heavenly Father is gonna give it to you. It ain't only gonna just be, here you go, hand it off, into your hand. It's gonna be something that you're gonna go through it and you're gonna attain that thing you asked for. Because usually it's already within you, but it has to be drawn out of you. That's the education. Verse 6, but let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like the wave of the sea driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So basically, if you want something, you gotta desire it wholeheartedly. If you're thinking, will I get it? May I get it? You ain't really gonna get it, man. Your whole mindset has to be that of, I want this, all right? And even beyond I want this is something that I'm gonna be given anyway, all right? So, reading on, it says, let the brother of low degree rejoice in that he is exalted, but the rich in that he is made low, because as the flower of the grass he shall pass away. All right, so let me read it again. Let the brother of low degree rejoice in that he is exalted, but the rich that he is made low, because as the flower of the grass he shall pass away. For the sun is soon arisen from with a burning heat, but it withereth the grass, and the flower thereof falleth, and the grace of the fashion of it perisheth. So also shall the rich man fade away in his ways. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. Right? Hold fast, all right? Because only what you're holding fast for, what you're holding fast for is that crown of glory, right? Which ultimately will come in the end, around the coronation, the crowning of the elect of the children of Israel. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of the Most High, for the Most High cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. Right. Yeah. It tells you in the book of Corinthians how basically scripture's escaping me right now, but your temple, the Most High, dwelleth in you, and there's no wickedness in the Most High. So, as it goes on to say, it says, but every man is tempted when he is drawn away from his own lust and enticed. Right? Paul spoke about it ever so eloquently in the book of Romans 7 and 8. All right, about being, that which I ought to do, I do not, and that which I wish not to do, I do. Because basically, going back to Noah, all right, this is being in the flesh is set you in a compromising position, whereby you know what you want to do, what you're meant to do, and you want to do it, but at the same time, you being in the flesh, it makes it a very difficult task to execute. But that isn't a temptation from the Heavenly Father as he's soliciting or saying, yeah, go forth and sin. No, that's a temptation on your behalf, all right? So reading on, it says, verse 14, but every man is tempted when he is drawn away from his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. Right? Because basically I forget where I was worded in 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, but the sting of sin is death. All right, so that's only what sin brings about, and we know sin is the breaking of the law. Verse 16, do not err, my beloved brethren. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Right? Again, pray. All this stuff comes from the Heavenly Father, who gives liberally. All right? Of his own will begat he us with the word of truth. All right? The Heavenly Father brought us about via the word of truth, Yahushua, that we should be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. We are the first fruit. Lord willing, if we are of the elect, we are the first fruits. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of the Most High. Right? So basically, everything we're dealing with, you gotta be You gotta have patience, as James wrote before. You gotta be able to have a dominion, a control over your emotions, and that's the main thing. I saw the reel earlier today. Two little Jake babies basically playing rock paper scissors, and it's the food thing. You know where you do the rock paper scissors. Whoever wins gets to eat the food. The other one has to run a length and come back. Now, basically, the little boy kept getting emotional and just having bad reactions. And it was funny at first, but when I really thought about it, I said, you know what, this kid's too emotional. You know, like you see it the first one, but then you see it again and again. You think, yeah, this is bad, and that's the kind of kid that'll turn up to something, that'll stab up something or shoot up something. Why? Because he has no control over his emotions. He doesn't have to govern himself. Because all it would take is for him to take a moment, step back, and say, all right, he's beating me. And it weren't too deep. It was just he weren't sharp enough with the game to really kind of know, all right, I need to this is really what it looked like to me. He didn't understand the game he was playing. He was just pulling out random shit. No one really gave him no direction. So it's frustration more than anything. And a few people, I say a few, said this is a good, this is an opportunity for him to learn, like to discipline him and to really make him an adult. And other people saying, man, he don't need to learn that until he's in double digits. And the rebuttal from some was like, this is why you have kids ending up in jail or, throwing away their life, because the time you're meant to show them these things is too late. And that's the reality. All right. You have to have a governing over your spirit before, you find yourself in a very compromising position. All right. And that's really what this lesson, really what James is writing in here. All right. So let's go from verse 20. For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of the Most High, right? It's something of man, all right? It's not of the Heavenly Father. Remember, when we deal with the Heavenly Father, He's waited. This story is the greatest story ever told, all right? And not a lot of people know it, all right? But we're dealing with thousands upon thousands of years of an elaborate plan the Heavenly Father laid out, all right, that took a few days in reality. But he's patiently allowing, he understands that these are thousands of years as well, but he's patiently allowing other nations to have rule and governance over his people, all right, the apple of his eye, and to do, his bidding only, and which he's put in their spirit to do, all right, and just sitting there and watching it. That's something for us to really look at. Like he told Esdras was upset and frustrated that the heathen had rule over Israel, but the angel of what Uriel, speaking on behalf of the Heavenly Father, was basically saying, like, how can you love my people more than me? All right, because really the Lord was just saying, look, man, I know this is happening, but here's what, like, you should mind your business, mind yourself, all right, your own personal affairs, and not look to these things which they're of my, God, my doing, all right. So that's something to bear in mind when you kind of, not even kind, when you look at these things. Verse 20, for the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of the Most High. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive the meekness of the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves, right? So everything we hear, we ought to do. All right, this isn't something that you just get told and you're like, yeah, I hear it, and you keep it moving. Nah. For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth the manner of man he was. Right. So you look at your face, then you see a dark skinned black man, then you walk away and you think you're Chinese. What kind of foolishness is that, man? Right, and that's what is really happening, because let's remember, when you go into the book of Micah, or even when you deal with Mike, the breakdown of Ezekiel, is it 17, the Valley of Dry Bones, basically the sinews and the skin came upon them, and it was able to identify them as Israel, right? So in an allegoric sense, you're forgetting who you are, right? Because this is your identity. Verse 24, for he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. But whosoever looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. If any man among you seem to be religious and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, being his mind, his religion is in vain, right? So you have to have restraint. Again, I spoke about anger, but also this is in reference to what? The thoughts, the process of what comes out of your mouth from your thoughts, right? The Lord spoke of it out of the depths of your heart. Basically, the words you speak come out of the depths of your heart. Verse 27, pure religion and undefiled before the Most High, and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspoiled from the world. Right. That's it, man. So with that, I pray you're edified to the next one. Say shalom. Shalom.